What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the IEM Katowice group starting in a couple days. This is a tournament that I'm personally very excited for, and I feel like I've said that for every tournament, but I love Counter-Strike. And again, this is another tournament we're going to see some new rosters and see what teams can improve what they're already existing. Pretty much every team at this event is exciting, but there are a few that really stand out to me in particular, and one of those being Heroic. This is a team we haven't seen compete at an international level in a very long time. Now they're playing with a new player named Yugi, or at least that's how I think you pronounce it, who's been playing with them for a little bit online, and he's been playing really well, clutching really good rounds. He's shown an immense amount of skill, and I'm really excited to see how he does at a big LAN like this with a lot of top teams. Another team that's going to be coming to this event that we haven't seen in a while is Immortals, and they're going to be playing with FNX. FNX obviously coming from SK. He's a guy that's won 2 majors, and Immortals is a team that's been known for choking under high pressure situations. Can FNX bring this team to a higher level, or is he just gonna kind of level out in this team, right? That's something exciting. And then you've got FaZe with Nico, and come on guys, this is self-explanatory. Nico going to FaZe. This team was already a nuts all-star lineup. Now you're adding Nico, one of the best players in the world, if not the best, right? Who can carry a team by himself, and now he's in a team with a bunch of other star players behind a very experienced in-game leader. What can they accomplish? We also get to see North competing at their second event now with AZ. Let's see how they can improve. We also get to see Fnatic playing together again, and they've been saying they've been playing really well online and in practice, so can they make an impact here? Who knows? Another very exciting team that we get to see again is SK. And SK, they've had a little bit of time with Phelps now. Let's see what they can do. This is a team that I'm personally very excited to see. SK were a very dominant team, and now they're adding an even better player in place of FNX. What can Fallen do with this team? And that is super exciting to me, especially in an event like this. Now they've had a little bit of time to play with them and get used to it. What can they do? And that's not even mentioning all the other teams going to the event. About the only teams that we're missing are the 2 new French teams, which is sad, but we'll see them eventually. But anyway, without further ado, let's hop right into it and start talking about the group. First of all, let's look at Group A of the event. It consists of NIP, Optic, Immortals, Fnatic, FaZe, and Astralis. Now let's hop right into picking my personal winner for this group, and that's gotta be Astralis. This is a team that boasts probably the best map pool of any team in history, and especially the best map pool of any team out right now. They have over a 70% win rate on 5 of the 7 maps, and their 6th map Mirage, they boast over a 60% win rate on. And their 7th map is just Cobble. They just banned that. It's unreal, the stats that they have on every single map. The only teams that Astralis have lost to since the start of the major were Mouse Sports and Godsent in crazy upset matches, and then SK, VP, and Na'Vi, right? And something you have to consider is that none of these teams are in this group. Only 3 of the players in any of those teams are even in this group, and they're on new teams now. Then you have to consider how Astralis even plays Counter-Strike. They've got that perfect mix of risky and safe Counter-Strike, and because of that, they tend to be very consistent. Glaive has really done wonders for how this team approaches the game on both sides. The proof is in the pudding, guys. Astralis have been playing nuts the last couple months, and they've only lost maps here and there. They are consistent as they will ever be, and this is their time to shine once again. Now let's hop into talking about the 2nd and 3rd place in this group. Who do I think is going to come out of this group behind Astralis? And that's going to be FaZe and Fnatic. And FaZe is an obvious pick, but Fnatic was a little bit harder. I think FaZe will do really well in this group for 2 reasons. One, they've got insane amounts of firepower, not even accounting for the addition of Nico, who in himself can carry a team, but now he's got all these other really good players around him, and I think that alone says a lot about this team. And 2, Peregrine has done wonders for this team. Adding just little tiny bits of strategy into this team has made them so much better, so much more consistent, and I think for those 2 reasons, this team is going to perform very well with Nico. Then you have Fnatic, who, similar to FaZe, is a team packed full of star players. Got to keep in mind though that a lot of these players haven't really been playing up to their peaks, but now that they're back together on the same team, you know, who knows what they can do. I mean, this is Fnatic. We got to keep it realistic though. I don't think they're gonna like go off and win a major like the old team might have done, but I still think this team has a ton of potential. It could really do some serious work, especially at this event. And we've even heard that they've been apparently playing really well in scrims and in practice, and they even played pretty good at the last event. So who knows, maybe this is their event where they go off and just win it all. But at the end of the day, the real reason that I'm choosing FaZe and Fnatic to make it out of this is because of the competition. Behind them, you've got Optic, NiP, and Immortals. I personally love NIP. They're my favorite European team, but they haven't been playing even remotely close to the way that they should be playing. And there are some serious issues that you can see from the outside within the team. They just look depressed, slumped, and it's kind of sad to watch them be like this. And for that reason, I just don't see them making out of this group. This group is pretty heavy in competition, and it's really unfortunate to say. But on the other hand, NIP, they're famed for their NIP magic. And I think that this slump is only going to serve as motivation for players like Get Right, Forest, Freiburg. It's just like all these players, they're veteran players. They don't want to lose, they want to win. And I think that because of that, they have a real chance at coming into this event hot as fire and maybe even upsetting and making it out. And because of that, I'm going to give them that upset seat. I think that of the other three teams in this group, I think that they're the team that could potentially make it out. So now there's just the other two teams, Optic and Immortals. Optic, there's not really much you can say about them right now. They fell from grace pretty hardcore after Stan left. Kiko just hasn't really looked that good with them. He was one of the worst of players at the entire DreamHack Vegas event, and so was NAF. And they just kind of look depressed right now, and it's really sad. They went from like potentially being like one of the best teams in the world to just trash, and it's really unfortunate. Then you've got Immortals, who have their own set of issues. Immortals as a team famed for choking on the international stage, choking at big qualifiers, big events, and it's really unfortunate to see. And I would say that that's not even their biggest issue. Choking is just something that happens on the side, and I wouldn't even say that it's the reason that they lose. I think the personal reason that they lose is because of the way that they play. They rely too much on inconsistent playstyles, like Henny, for example. His playstyle is just really strange. Good, but strange. It's really weird. Because of that, when they're playing against high level teams, they're just going to see that and they're going to punch holes in it. And even if you're starting to do some work, you're bringing it close, these teams, they're just going to exploit it. They're going to be able to grind out those games because their playstyles are consistent. If they're relying too much on something, they're going to be able to spot it. They're going to fall back. They're going to play passive. If they see you're playing aggressive, you know, like Henny, for example, he loves to peek aggressively and go for these nasty flicks, right? Teams are going to spot that, and they're going to be able to shut down players like Henny by just simply not giving him that option. And because of that, teams going to start to crumble around him, certain players, and I don't know. I just think that Immortals, they're a really good team. They just have some very deep-seated issues with the way that they approach the game. That being said, they just got the new player FNX, who's played on SK. This guy's won 2 majors. This guy is a very high-profile player, and maybe he can bring some veteran knowledge to this team and really turn them around. And, you know, I would be excited for it. I love Immortals. Some of the players on there look so cool. They look almost trapped in this team. Like, it feels like if like 2-3 of these players left and made their own team with some other players around them, they would be like SK level, right? They just need a really good in-game leader and some solid veteran style players around. And maybe FNX will bring that. But something you have to consider about FNX is that even before he left SK, and even though he's bringing all this experience with him, you know, he was slumping for months before leaving SK. And even then, this guy is famed for having motivation issues and not being fully dedicated to the game. So who knows how he'll perform in this team. Maybe he'll see it as an opportunity to really get motivated again and show the world what he has. Or maybe he'll just kind of flip by and get the paycheck. Who knows? But I'm excited to see what Immortals can bring. Hopefully they can really show us what they can do and make it out of this group even. Who knows? So that's my prediction for Group A. We've got Astralis going out and then FaZe and Fnatic behind them. Now let's move on to Group B, and we'll talk about who I think is going to come out of this group. Real quick, before I tell you guys the team is playing in this group, let's just take a moment of silence and admire the teams playing in this group and give a moment of silence to our brothers at the bottom of this group. you know who you are, and I apologize that you have to go through this. You've got SK, VP, Navi, North, Heroic, and Cloud9. And boy, oh boy, is this a group. So for my winner pick in this group, I went with SK. And that's not a very popular choice, I would say, because most people would pick VP, right? And they're coming off a huge win at Vegas, coming off a second place at the major. And SK, they're coming off not much. But I think that this team has shown great potential at Vegas. And now they've had a tiny little bit of time to prep and fix what was broken. And I think that SK are going to come into this like a well-oiled machine and really show us what Phelps and this team can do. And because of that, I think that even though VP is playing really, really well right now, I think that SK will be able to pull out some wins against them and make it out at first in this group. As for the second and third place spots in this group, the prediction game is a struggle right now. Because in my eyes, you've got three insanely good teams fighting for two really tight spots. And that's got to be VP, North, and Navi, right? Which two of these three teams are going to be able to make it into these two spots? Let's be realistic for a second. The other two teams in this group, Heroic and Cloud9, I don't see them really making out of this group. And they may be really, really good teams, but against the kind of talent in this group, I don't think that they have a chance. Heroic, for example, like they're a really good team, right? And they've even been playing really, really well outside of this event. But something you have to consider is that to make it out of this group, they've got to beat 3-4 of the top teams in the world right now. You got to beat SK, who are probably third best team in the world right now. You got to beat VP, who are 1-2 in the world right now. And then you've got North behind them. You got other teams that are really, really good as well, like Cloud9. Like, there's just no way that a team like Heroic can make it out of this group. Same goes for Cloud9, right? Same thing. You got to beat 3-4 of the top teams in the world right now. And even though Cloud9, they're coming off an EPL win forever ago now at this point, and people are still saying it, they haven't really been looking that good right now, and this is the group of death for them. There's no way that they can make it out of this group. Of those three teams that I think can make it out, I'm obviously going to pick VP to make it out. They're a team that just won Vegas, coming off a second place placing at the major. They're a team that they're just good, right? They've shown inconsistency in the past, and I still think that they're going to be a really inconsistent team going forward. They have been for years, probably still will be going forward, but I think right now they're on an upswing, and I think that they can keep it going, at least for this event. So the real hard decision was between North and Navi. Both of these teams are really, really, really good. Both these teams are at a critical point right now, and I'm going to go ahead and pick North to win this out. And that may come as a surprise because I just picked Navi to win Vegas. But right now at this event, I'm going to say North makes it out of this group alongside VP and SK because of one simple psychological fact. It's a lot easier to perform coming off a change than it is to perform facing a change. And that's not even mentioning the fact that Simple is apparently having health issues right now, and he's a really, really big part of Navi. So all these things combined, I just think that North has what it takes to make it out of this group. But all that being said, I'm still going to put Navi as my upset potential team to make it out of this group. Like I said, I mean, I predicted them to win Vegas. They didn't win Vegas, but they still showed, you know, some decent signs. Like, this team can still do really, really well. And because of that, I think that they still have the potential to make it out of this group above North or even above VP. So yeah, they're going to be my upset team going forward. So there it is, guys. I think that Astralis and SK are going to make it out top of their group, make it into the semis, and then you're going to have a nuts quarterfinals of Fnatic, FaZe, North, and VP fighting it out for the other semi-final spots. And it's going to be a really good event. I'm excited. I'm going to watch every single game. This is going to be hype. So like I said, those are my predictions. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. If you liked the video, hit that like button. And as always, guys, see you guys on the other side.